In the shrouded morning, a young warrior stood lost amidst the cacophony. Mud clung to his boots as he pressed a cherished locket to his chest, seeking comfort in its faded warmth. The earth quaked violently. A thunderous symphony erupted, ricocheting through the fog. Fear clenched tightly around the heart of the vulnerable soldier. He dove into the trench, heart racing, breath shallow. Around him, comrades masked their dread with weary bravado, their eyes darting from shadow to shadow. An old hand offered stories, weaving threads of nostalgia amidst the despair. Each tale breathed life, igniting flickers of hope in a place plagued by darkness. A sudden stillness engulfed the light-hearted banter. A soul fell, an empty echo where laughter had just hung, a haunting reminder of fleeting mortality. Guilt blossomed in his chest, spreading roots of despair. Could he summon the courage to rise from sorrow's ashes, or would he remain trapped beneath its weight? In desperation, he summoned a melody, the lullaby transforming the chaos. It echoed, soft yet powerful, knitting a fragile bond among weary hearts. Silence draped over them, a stillness that elevated the lullaby into the ether. For a fleeting moment, war faded, replaced by a bittersweet memory of innocence. A breath, suspended in dread. The choice loomed: retreat into self-preservation or stand firm against the storm for those who shared his plight. With a deep inhalation, he chose courage. Sacrifice would become his shield, their lives intertwined in a moment of valor, soaring above despair. A shot echoed. In that heartbeat, the battlefield shifted. The lullaby lingered, suspended in the air, a hollow reminder of lives forever altered. Silence reigned, yet echoes of loss remained. The haunting melody, a bittersweet coat draped over scarred hearts, yielded to the eternal memory of sacrifice.
Whispers of the Trenches. In the thick fog of dawn 1917, on a muddy field scarred by the weight of endless battles, a silent scene unfolded on the Western Front. The air was thick with a smoky haze, carrying whispers of distant cries that echoed like faint, haunted memories. Every trench was a narrow path between life and death, where the faint flicker of candlelight illuminated faces hardened by sorrow and fear. The soldiers here were barely men, some not yet 18, faces young but marked by the knowledge of things no soul should know. In the eerie silence between bombardments, they sat motionless, each lost in thoughts of home, family, and the lives they had once known. They were bound by a grim understanding that these few feet of mud could be the last they would ever tread. In nearby towns, civilians clutched fading photographs of husbands, sons, and brothers, clinging to memories of laughter and warmth. Fields once green with crops lay barren, empty scars where dreams once grew. Children wandered through broken streets, eyes wide, unsure whether to fear the silence or the explosions. Mothers sang soft lullabies as much for themselves as for the children, their voices trembling as they tried to ignore the rumbles of distant gunfire. As months wore on, it was not only bodies that perished in the trenches, but also fragments of hope, innocence, and joy. Lives ended, not just by bullets, but by the slow, cold grip of despair. Those who survived carried with them invisible wounds, shadows of the war etched into their very souls. Yet the most haunting part of the war was the silence that came afterward. Fields grew over, covering trenches and bones, but the scars within each heart never faded. Even years later, those who returned would hear in the dead of night the whispered voices of lost comrades, the echo of battles fought, and dreams forever shattered by the ruthless sweep of history.